Success in our profession centers around our ability to communicate. And regardless of all the accoutrements that we might have with us to help send the right message about what we prefer the client to do, language is our primary form of communication, and it always will be. The primary obstacle to you doing that are actually a couple. One, that you haven't developed the language, in other words, the expressions necessary, and I'm going to do what I can to fill those things in. Over the years, I've developed a lexicon of expressions that seem to have worked. And why shouldn't I, in this series, shorten that process for you? That's the whole point of it, is to speed up how quickly you acquire the necessary elements to communicate. And one of the other obstacles to communicating effectively is the insidious introduction of fillers. The typical one is like. My kids seem to like that one a lot, and I've just done two. I said a couple of times. Now, I would suggest that the best thing to do is to actually film yourself talking to somebody extemporaneously about anything. And it's a little disquieting when you first do it. First of all, we never like the sound of our own voice, but also you'll notice that you do throw in a lot of these fillers without even noticing them. Don't sweat it. Pick the one that you least are impressed by. I just did another one. And ask yourself, can I go through an entire lesson without that one reoccurring? That's the test. Don't make it hard on yourself, and don't feel like you failed if you've been unable to get to the end of a lesson without that particular filler. But I promise you, over a period of time, you will succeed, and then you can pick another one if you have detected that there are more than a couple that seem to creep in. And you'll find that it is a form of discipline that helps you to communicate. And one final point about that. Those fillers can easily be replaced by silence. Don't feel like you have to say something at every moment, make a noise at every moment. Rather than have a filler, just have a pause. You'll notice that it isn't inconvenient to the listener, and it helps you to keep focused. There is one additional discipline in language, in communicating, that I've found over the years to be perhaps important to me more than to other people. But it is, again, a function of whether or not you're in control of your ways of communicating. And that is when you're teaching a left-handed golfer. I did have to work quite hard, but luckily over a period of time successfully, to be able to give a golfer who's left-handed an entire lesson without ever transposing the hands or the feet, the pieces that I'm describing. So a left-hander at the top of the swing will look like this. And if you want to talk about what is colloquially nowadays called their lead hand, it's their right hand. But it's quite likely, until you've practiced this for a while, and of course we don't teach that many left-handers, that you actually go ahead and use the part of the brain that says the lead hand is the left hand, and you'll say left when you meant right. It's a small thing, but I promise you left-handed golfers do notice, and they will be grateful. And it also strengthens you, and that's what this entire series of lessons is about.